Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about an important development in the case of Mahmoud Khalil, who is the Columbia University student, as to whom the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, invoked this very far-reaching, very rarely used authority to say his continued presence in the United States would endanger national security, and on that basis, they seek to deport him. Now, this is a guy who's become quite a cause celeb. At the graduation ceremonies for Columbia last week, the acting president, Claire Shipman, was roundly booed very audibly by big pockets of the student body about him and basically saying, bring him back, bring Khalil back. Now, Khalil is clearly a leader of a lot of the pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza, even pro-Hamas demonstrations that took place at Columbia last year. And Columbia has admitted all kinds of fault in their failure to properly enforce rules and prevent Jewish students from being harassed, etc. Khalil himself, however, says he simply took an organizational part in the protest and didn't do anything objectionable to other students, and that he therefore is being targeted for reprisal for his pro-Palestinian views. We don't really know if that's right. What we know is Rubio invoked the actual authority. But since then, Khalil was arrested, taken away, and they were preparing to deport him, at which point he brought a habeas corpus action in the District of New Jersey. There's a whole kind of side issue about should it be in New Jersey, should it be in Louisiana, where they had taken him. In any event, it has continued in New Jersey. That judge, Michael Farbiars, has ruled he has jurisdiction. And he issued yesterday a 106-page ruling finding that Khalil was likely to prevail on his claim that the proposed deportation is illegal. Why? Well, he hasn't exactly ruled that it's all about the First Amendment exercise of his own rights and they're just taking action against him for that. And in this context, by the way, it's a little tricky because if Marco Rubio invokes that authority, seems to me it can be done based on words, at least when it's a matter of it's not a criminal case. It's a matter of saying that this person shouldn't be able to stay in the States because we've made this special finding. It's rather that very finding the judge goes after, and it's attached at the end. He says, we need more information. But basically what Rubio has told us is completely open-ended, vague, therefore void for due process. So there's no way for Khalil to meet it and match it. Now, of course, the authority is designed to do just that basically. So it's going to be, if this goes to the Third Circuit, which sits above New Jersey, it might be an interesting legal claim where the U.S. is saying we don't have to. All we have to do is Rubio just invokes the authority, and that's the end of things. But the ruling below, and again, 106 pages, scholarly and really comprehensive, is no, you can't just say it. You need to put some meat on the bones. And having failed to do it, looks to me, says the judge, that's unconstitutional. So why is Khalil still being detained as he is? Because the U.S. has brought a different claim. They say that when Khalil came to the country, and got his visa, he misrepresented something in his application papers. We don't know the precise details, but that would be potentially a separate reason to deport him. So Farbiaz has ordered additional papers and litigation to speak to that issue. What exactly does Khalil have to say about that? Can he proffer a decent explanation? It's possible. Seems to me it's quite possible that the huge issue involving his potentially being deported for what he claims is mere First Amendment protected speech will kind of just go away, and instead it'll focus on this picayune requirement. But picayune requirements are nevertheless requirements, so it may turn out that that's sufficient to deport him, and I'm sure in that instance the U.S. would be happy and go on its way. So that's what's coming next. We have a finding of likely unconstitutionality, and the administration's not going to want to let this stand, but if he's deported and that issue sort of moots, maybe they will, but the idea that they have to come forward to courts with more explanations for when Rubio does this, they're going to fight. But for now, the fight is on this whole second basis, which might feel a little like the tail wagging the dog, but is the judge has ruled, basis potentially to deport him. And that's something that he's going to have to answer Khalil. That's what happens next, and it may be that turns to be the focus of the case, maybe even the resolution of the case, and that Khalil on that basis is deported. Talk to you later.